Hey everyone, so I'm going to talk about codes for a while. I'll kind of repeat the story that I was sharing earlier. So when I'm in Oregon, I have the craziest stuff happen to me. It's just bizarre physically, and when I leave, I don't have this stuff happen to me. And I couldn't figure it out. And so one day I was going to get a drink of water, and my guides tell me that the water was coded. And I'm like, well, we filter it, but there are codes within the water. I know you guys are probably all familiar with Masaru Emoto's work, but like water holds a frequency. And so I asked, and I was like, well, what's going on here? And they're like carbon codes that are going through fossil fuels and coding in the water. And it's really interesting because what was yesterday's rain is in today's body, which will be in tomorrow's ocean or wherever it may go. Like, it's circulating through us. We can't really escape it. And so I was like, okay, this is interesting. What are these codes? And they're just programs. They're programs that started way back when the false matrix first started, which was, in my opinion, 15 lifetimes ago for me. And so it's just this vibrational like receptor site that I have within me, that it's going and matching up and just keeping it in this constant. I was like, so what are these codes, And it's pretty obvious, because like who am I and who was I? Like, who was I? Like, it's almost what is embody code, when you have the label across your forehead, like abuse me, right? Or I'm ungrateful, or grief. We're coded with these things and we're attracting it, and it's attracting back to us. And it's just bizarre how much we're kept in this cycle, right? And it's like the TikTok video that's going around, I'll post it, about the internet. We're all coded, like we're just being programmed constantly with these programs. And I'm like, okay, so are there any other programs? Because internet, for sure, satellites. And then I started thinking about, like, okay, earth, air, wind, and fire, right? So air would be like chemtrails. It's all coming out, air, lungs. Those are the people that are struggling with COVID the most, is with the lung stuff. Earth would be people who are really reacting to the glyphosate, the sprays, water, and I'm not sure what fire is yet. I'll have to tune in and ask on that one. So I'm like, okay, so how many codes do I have? So I had to go back 15 lifetimes ago and like tune in to like why the false matrix even existed, because we're these light beings. How did we get caught into it? What is the purpose? I know we're here raising the vibration of the earth, and I had like 30 of them. And so I started looking into them, and that's in Escaping the False Matrix, the bookwork that I send out, or the PDF, those false timelines. And they're these codes that are keeping us. And I was like, okay, so how do I clear these? And they're like, just recode yourself, write what you are, write who you are on a piece of paper, stick your jar over your piece of paper, drink it. Your body's so much percent water, you recode yourself. But going back to that beginning part and claiming sovereignty over this, and then just clearing it on every timeline that you can, and re-encode yourself. So I was just like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I get on Pinterest and I start finding the Usui, USUI, the Reiki symbols. And I just like, because when I hear truth, I get downloads. I kind of bopped out of my seat a little bit. So I started seeing all these symbols. I'm like, those are the codes that we're supposed to be encoded with, right? So I just started like staring at them and going through all of my timelines, and it was completely bizarre how it changed me. Like, completely bizarre how like sovereign I feel, and how encoded I was. It's crazy. So there's information on codes if you want any more information, please, please, please don't hesitate to ask. If you have any questions, I will pop out a video explaining. Yeah,